Welcome to your Magic Moon message. This is the Peace Dealer. The moon is in Scorpio. The sun is in Aries. We are still within the harvest phase of this transit, which is once again focused on this original reimagined direction you are carving out your character. March, April of 2026, you're going to be signing a new contract, initializing this 30-year cycle. So as I'm saying, this is a good way to look at this period as like free agency. You've finished obligations over the past 30 years, and this is guiding you towards what your next step is. Whether you re-sign with the old obligation, whether you join a new group, or whether you decide to go independent. Those aren't the only options, but we're basically ready to kick off the rest of this cycle and year, which is the purpose of Aries season. All it is about is taking that first step. So if you're caught up on trying to do everything perfectly and trying to figure everything out, especially relative to how the world is literally changing in front of our eyes, the old world is over and we're literally stepping into the next world right now in front of our eyes. By the time we come into next year, we're in it, right? Shoot, before the year's over, Uranus is going to be in Gemini, Neptune, Aries, Pluto, Aqua, so like we in it. But personally, don't trick yourself into believing you have to have everything figured out. The only purpose of Aries season is to take that first step. We have already begun to harvest this transit. So if within the past 3 weeks you have taken that first step, you're clear on what you're ready to work on, what you're ready to do, knowing that these goals can change at a moment's notice, which is okay. You did the good thing. If you still haven't taken that first step, if you still don't feel like you still have time. The moon will be in Capricorn. The last part of this Aries season is to appropriately adjust the steps you take, which you will see when the moon goes into Sagittarius, whether these higher perspectives align with the habits you change, moon in Virgo, and the thought process. So don't really catch yourself stressing, especially if there are changes that need to be made towards what you're doing. You have made that first step. That's the only important thing. And that doesn't apply to really just one thing. Anything you've done where you've stepped the first step. Taurus season is going to allow us to ground and then, add more foundation to these steps, with which requires no rush. Taurus is the slowest zodiac sign because it teaches us to stop and smell the flowers, really engage your senses, really sense naturally and feel through these senses, all that. Okay, so the moon in Scorpio, now that we through the full moon have begun to balance how specifically we interface ourselves with others, now the moon in Scorpio is going to transform your reimagined self. This is the part of the harvest where we actually start to reap. Eighth house of death, of other people's resources and money. We're taking what you planted in the second house, moon and Taurus, of your resources, and now we are divvying up who we trust with it. What I'm saying? You're taking what's yours before the 11th house in a week from now, where that's the gross pay. Whoever takes what cut, who helped you kind of harvest this. But this is, of course, the return of your investments that you made 2 weeks ago. And relative to the moon in Virgo, where you have begun to integrate habits that align with this new reimagined character, Scorpio cuts the weight. So this is where now, in continuing on with this direction, you're starting to see yourself transform, your actions transform, your intentions transform, and this is preparing you accordingly for completion, to continue this harvest. The moon in Scorpio gives you a psychoanalytical understanding of how the changes in your own behavior are transforming your character real time. All right. And given this quality of wisdom that you'll be gaining from other people relative to your actions. This will actively show you how the activation 2 weeks ago and integration a week ago are pushing you forward, which, of course, once again, anything you may not be like or need to shift, the moon in Sagittarius will show you so that you can make that shift before we end off this Aries season, and then grounded in Taurus. I love breakthrough periods. I've shared the story about how I mastered the finger method, and like, then for, the finger method, for people wondering, is the it's a patty cake game where you play patty cake, and then, you put your fingers in a certain way so that you throw off your opponent, and then you win at patty cake, for those who may not know. And other than that, yeah, certain breakthroughs I've had occurred during the breakthrough transits. I'm just gonna say I had a breakthrough a couple days ago. Mastered some techniques, if you feel me. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, I feel like I leveled up for sure. You just know that confidence you gain. Like, I feel like an anime character that's mastered a technique they've been practicing, and it was just very rewarding and fulfilling. And now with the moon in Scorpio, I can go deeper into, assessing that and preparing to build further on that, applying it in different means. Okay, but for real though, the moon is also trining all the Pisces stellium. In fact, the most important part about this moon in Scorpio is that at the very end, it's going to trine Mercury in Pisces, and then it's going to trine Mars in Cancer. This grand water trine is that final space before the depth of emotion converts into blaring passion. And now our brains apply these beliefs towards these actions aligned with us. Mars takes the feeling of everything we desire connected to everything we believe in Pisces, which is the perspective for the direction we feel we must move in. And then in Leo, you stand your ground as the whistleblower. Mars in Leo is going to be an epic whistleblowing transit that, relative to a lot of your actions, will expose fraud and other such, like corruption or mistakes done at even the federal level, local level, and that requires courage to not be a bitch and back down. We do not concede over here. Relative to now Mars in Cancer aligning with this integrity of beliefs, so you're pushing forward with, you're not just making stuff up, it's actually grounded in integrity. Can't emphasize enough how that grand water trine is going to really connect this deepening understanding in Scorpio to what you believe you think and what you feel you want to do with it. So as this kind of goes higher, really see how the wisdom that's being revealed is aligning that, because once the moon goes into Sagittarius, a lot's going to happen that's going to literally raise your perspective on what actions you're going to be taking as we close the transit. Okay, the moon opposite Uranus and Taurus also will begin to harvest this 28-day unconventional, activation of moon and Uranus and Taurus. So now that it's in Scorpio, you're applying this deepening psychoanalysis to how said innovation is expressed and understood through other people. Once again, moon conjunct Uranus and Taurus is a 28-day cycle since 2018. That's going to end this year, actually, like around June. That every 28 days, it increases more of how you feel through your five senses. The extra dimensional quality with which a process like this is auto nervous. So it's not something, of course, you're going to realize immediately, but through the past 6 years, you've definitely noticed. And every time it goes into Scorpio, you're deepening the understanding of how these enhanced senses physically apply psychologically with and towards others. Then, of course, the quincunx of Jupiter in Gemini is going to help you through wisdom understand how to integrate this evolution of your mindset. So that's the math for this moon in Scorpio transit. especially through water sign transits where people get deeply emotional, and a fire sign transit like Aries where people are more raw and instinctual and angry. Please don't take personal attacks on your character, consciousness, psychic attacks. You have to remember, a lot of people are miserable. Like, a lot of people are fake as fuck. Like, they don't necessarily share how they feel. They put on a mask, act nonchalant. I have resting bitch face. Like, if I have anything going wrong, I'm not afraid to really share it. Personally, whether I have a moon or cap or not, I just have, shout out to the Earth sign rise. We have resting bitch face. I'm cool with them. But a lot of people actually put on masks, act nonchalant, but their actions don't align with that, right? And anyone who is secure in themselves will not, project on you because they're not really being honest about the reason they may have issues, and they want to project whatever image. No one secure does that. No one who's in a right frame of mind does that. Okay, so as you continue to experience this, know that that's coming from weak, stupid little bitch. I mean, from hurt people, and hurt people hurt other people. The intensity of this will maybe cause people to just say things in an attempt to just get a reaction from you, because they don't really care about the logic of what they're saying. There is no logic to what they're saying. It's just pathos. They just want you to feel frustrated like they feel frustrated, and that is expressly beneath us. Once again, no one secure in themselves does this. So anyone that's projecting on you like this, with nothing based in reality, is both insecure and delusional. Especially, if I don't want to link Blink by Malcolm Gladwell to this, but so many implicit biases and prejudices people already have. Most of that is what you're being projected versus like actual facts. We know this because we had 2 I Told You So tours last year, which were uncontested. So everything moving forward, you have that as reference personally. And you'll just see it's more of bringing up that stuff, which you don't even have to address because it's been contested. It hasn't been contested. You have already fulfilled the burden of proof, all that. So walk forward, empowered. This is a harvest phase. Really tap into how actively you are continuing to transform. Let people's pride and ego and belief systems that were never real, because they live a lie and they effectively lie to themselves, so they're going to project and say lies to you and about you. Once again, something that no one secure in themselves would do. Someone secure in himself wouldn't talk about you behind your back, put news out your back, try and make up stories to have people. It's only stupid, weak people who do this. So, like, you're not stupid, you're not weak. You shouldn't let the opinions of sheep suffer the king or queen that you are completely. If they really want to hit you with anything real, they can demonstrate and show up, especially with the moon in Sag. And considering how, legit you hold and carry yourself, which you are harvesting the evidence of, no one want no problems with you. So let them do what they do. It is what it is, whoever they is. And yeah, prepare for this moon in Sagittarius. It's going to be very lit, dramatic, chaotic. It's also going to conclude Aries season, finalizing this direction of authenticity. And as you transform, as you are understanding the way with which your habits are transforming, stay committed to that and prepare for more victory and completion moving forward, y'all. You stay blessed as always, and until next time.